Hello, this is the Watchdog. Welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Cronos L6029. Let's start off the wrist check on one of this Pagani Design PD 1706. And Greg was wearing a Naviforce 7105. Greg said that Princess Leia appointed Lando Calrissian as the Secretary of Commerce for the New Republic. Han Solo asked her, why Lando? She said because he wrote that famous book, The Altar of the Deal. Let's take a look at the watch. Comes in this nice case, and it's got a zipper. Really nice case. And one thing you get with this watch that you don't get with most of these AliExpress watches is a signed warranty card. Look at that, it's signed. So here is the watch. Isn't that a nice looking watch? Look at that dial. That dial is just stunning. This is one of the best watches I've ever reviewed on my channel. Anyway, this is a members choice watch, meaning the paid members voted on this watch. It means that the paid members only got to see the unboxing. And it means if you're watching this and you're not a paid member, then it's been a week since I published the review because the members get a week-long head start. But now this is a awesome looking watch. This is the second Cronos on my channel. Cronos makes nice watches, but I haven't reviewed a lot of them because they tend to be a bit more expensive than the typical watch on my channel. The more expensive the watch, the more likelihood that I will take a big loss when selling it. This watch is my latest members choice watch on my channel. For the latest selection, I put up 4 Cronos watches, and my paid members voted on which Cronos to purchase and review. After this review, I will sell this watch and put up another members choice watch for a vote. This Cronos is an NH34 powered GMT watch with a fixed steel bezel. A rotating bezel lets you track one more time zone, but most of us don't need to do that, and we buy watches with unnecessary complications such as GMT because it is fun and we respect watchmaking. This watch comes in 4 different colorways, all with textured wave dials. I chose the green gradient. If you're a fan of gradient, then you can also get blue. If gradient isn't your thing, there is a solid black or white dial. The watch is 37.9 millimeters if you measure at the bezel, but 39.2 millimeters if you measure at the case. It's only 46.6 millimeters lug to lug, but it does have protruding end links, but they don't protrude that much. It's 12.3 millimeters thick, including the box crystal, so it's fairly thin for an automatic. Has a 20 millimeter lug width, which tapers down to 18. And weighs 146 grams on the supplied steel bracelet with 2 links removed. The bezel is a steel 24-hour and it does not rotate. If the bezel rotated, you could track another time zone, but you're not going to do that anyway. Then we have the dial. The dial is a textured wave dial gradient, and it's really nice. Says Cronos up top with the Cronos logo. That's all printed. Then on the bottom here it says GMT automatic, and then it gives you the 100 meters water resistance. You only get 100 meters, but really, do you need more than that? Then we have the indices. We have batons everywhere with the double at the 12. Then we have the Dauphine hands. The minute hand's fairly thin, which means that it doesn't have as much room for lume as the hour hand. And then we have the second hand that has the lume. And then we have a spear tip GMT hand. Then we have a date at the 3. Then we have a sign screw down crown. Thread action's fine. Being an NH34, it pops nicely. Then when you go to screw it back down, there's no resistance. And it doesn't feel like you're going to strip it or anything. And then we have the crystal. This crystal is great. It's sapphire. It's a box crystal. But look at that. There's hardly any reflection on it. So it has to have AR coating. So really happy with the crystal. And then we have the case. The case is excellent too, nice and thin. It's brushed on the sides, brushed on the tops, has a polished chamfered edge, which is a nice touch. It has crown guards that actually protect the crown and don't just act like a little platform for it. So really happy with the case, super thin. Then we have the case back. Case back is a screw down. It says all stainless steel, Cronos, water resistant, 100 meters. And it's a screw down, and you can see the notches for the wrench. Underneath the case back is the NH34 GMT movement. This is basically a modified NH35, which added a GMT hand. Seiko came out with this about 3 years ago, and it's really taken the AliExpress homage world by storm, as it gives you, as before, the only really affordable automatic GMT watch movement you could have was the DG5833, and which didn't have the best reputation in the world, but this one does. This one has a DJ5833. So, been really happy with the movement. It's a 24 jewel 3-horse movement that hand winds hacks. Has a bidirectional rotor, and one unique thing about it compared to the DG5833 is the way the GMT hand moves. When you put it into the first position here, it jumps in hour increments, where the DG5833 is a smooth movement. This jumps every hour, so it's easier to set. But of course, it only goes in one direction. And if you go in the other direction, you quick set the date. So let's go ahead and put it on the Timegrapher and see how it's doing. Here it is on the Timegrapher, and it looks like we're running about 5 seconds fast, which is pretty good for an NH34. It's always better to have fast versus slow because this is a hacking movement. So with a hacking movement, if the watch is fast, all you have to do is hack it and wait for time to catch up. With a slow movement, you have to actually set the hands, so it's just a little bit easier. But as you can see, we got 0.4 milliseconds of beat error. So this watch does need to be regulated, and the amplitude's a little low too. I have the lift angle set to 53, which is proper for an NH34. The amplitude's at 255. The bracelet's a 5-link. If you look closely at the center links, you can see that it has these separate links here, but everything's fixed, so it doesn't articulate at all. So it acts like a typical 3-link oyster style. And we have solid protruding end links. And we have screw pin adjusters. And look how tiny the screws are. So I had to use the screwdriver that was included because it was so small. Just using any old little screwdriver was too big for these holes. And then we have the clasp. The clasp is signed, and look how scratched it is already. I haven't really worn this watch much and already scratched the living heck out of this thing. So the clasp does scratch very easily, but it does have 6 holes of micro adjust, so that's nice, but it's not on the fly. So you have to get out a tool to adjust it, but the holes are really close to each other, so you can get the perfect fit. And as you can see, I moved it in one. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. That's a nice looking watch. I really like it. It wears nice, it's comfortable. And once again, since you have micro adjust so close to each other, you can get the perfect fit. But I only removed 2 links to fit on my wrist. So if your wrist is, plus I moved it in 1 notch of micro adjust. So if your wrist is bigger than 8.5, you're going to need more links. Here we are in the Lume room. Just wearing the watch, I could tell it had good lume, so I have some pretty high expectations for this test. As we speed up the time, we see the blue glow of BGW9, except for the GMT hand, which is a green C3. Everything is shining quite brightly and doing very well for itself. The GMT hand is the weakest thing on the watch, but still visible. Unfortunately, the all-important minute hand is slightly behind the indices, But in all fairness, there isn't much room for Lume on that thin doffing minute hand. But look at that hour hand. This is still excellent Lume. What I like this gradient textured wave dial. It just looks awesome. I really like this sapphire box crystal with AR coating. Does a great job of not reflecting and just looks nice. It has excellent Lume, and the watch is super thin for an automatic and wears really nice. What are my gripes and groans? Keep in mind that these are really minor gripes and groans, but I gotta say something. No on-the-fly adjustment of the clasp. I wish the minute hand was just a hair thicker so I could put more Lume on it to go with the excellent Lume of the rest of the watch. And the bracelet could be longer. I'll remove 2 links. Oh yeah, and this clasp scratch is really easy. Look how scratched up it is already. Do I recommend this watch? Of course. This watch is awesome for the money. It looks and wears great, and it has an NH34 GMT movement. This watch is the real deal. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Cronos L6029, and I will be back with another review or unboxing. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link, and I'll get a sizable commission because this watch is not cheap. And I'd like to thank the Members' Choice, and of course you members got to see this review first. Here you are. At the time of this review, there's only 5 of you. Hopefully this list has grown since the review went out to the general public. Bye.